welcome. Yes, you are not seeing double. You're not, and there's no trickery. It's not even Tuesday night. It is actually a second episode live on a Saturday. Well, now we're in afternoon, at least for the East Coast. In the Pacific side, it's morning time still. But we'll get to that in a minute. Welcome. I am Josh of J Bauer Art. This is another episode of Back Talk with Bauer. This episode is actually going to be, when it comes out on the replays and the audio version, it's going to be episode 29. But today it is a bonus episode. I'm actually have another amazing artist guest that we will be chatting with in just a few minutes. But we got to do all the plugs and talk about all the things. If you're looking at the artwork behind me and you dig it, you want to buy it, you want to support what I do, head over to jbauerartshop.com or just jbauerart.com and find my online art store. You can buy paintings, stickers, all kinds of awesome stuff. If you have not claimed your free Back Talk with Bauer sticker, please message me and I will send you out right away. I'm trying to get one in every state as soon as possible so we can get the show bigger and better as ever. Please check out the threadless.com to buy all the other shirts. If you need some graphic design, if you like the video at the beginning of this, I created that video. So if you need some video editing, some intros, some commercials, whatever you need, hit me up on Messenger or email me at jbauerart@gmail.com. You can also catch this on the HWWS WebTV YouTube channel and Facebook. And then you can catch it all on your favorite podcast apps like Google, Apple, Amazon, Spotify, and Stitcher. I'm running out of breath already. That's not a good sign. And I have a sponsor. Yes, somebody actually pays me some money to do this job. I can't believe it. I'm surprised too. But the only Kingdom of Comics down in Melbourne, Florida, have become sponsors of the show till the end of the year. Jason and Paula, the owners of Kingdom of Comics, have been so kind. They've been huge supporters of my work, all the things that I do, and they have hopped on to Back Talk with Bauer as official sponsors. And you can find them at facebook.com/Kingdom of Comics Shop. And if you're in the Florida area, you can go to 4320 South Babcock Street in Melbourne, Florida. But if you can't, I know there's a bunch of people that are watching that aren't even in Florida, so you can actually order stuff from them from their Facebook page. They have new comics. They're an authorized CGC dealer, toys, graphic novels, rare collectibles, pops, statues, back issues, and so much more. If you are able to make it into the shop, they have a bar in their shop. It's this giant bar. You can sit and read comics. I know. How awesome is that? And if you go in on a Friday and you buy a trade paperback or a graphic novel, you get half off of any beer with your purchase. So you could drink a beer at a bar and read comics. I mean, that's like the nerd's biggest dream, right? I don't know. Not mine, but because I don't drink, but whatever. And then make sure to ask about the drinks to go deal and support an amazing local business that supports me. I love Kingdom of Comics. I will probably be putting in another order here in a couple of weeks, and make sure to tune in. I want to say it's October 27th. We're going to do like an 45-minute, hour-long show of comic reviews. I have been ordering a bunch of comics from them, and Jason and Paula and I and whoever else I can wrangle in maybe are going to review some comics. So please stay tuned for that. Sorry. All right. So why are we doing a bonus, another bonus episode on a Saturday? Josh, why are you working so much? Because I love doing my show. I love chatting with new people. I love chatting with different people. And it was brought to my attention by my younger brother, Jesse, his girlfriend, that it's October is Blind Awareness Month. I was not aware of that. So it's working. Yay. But yeah, she was like, hey, have you ever thought about doing an episode with a blind creator or artist, or, trying to get some more attention to what's going on? She herself is blind, and I'm like, that'd be really cool. So I'm like, do you have anybody in mind? She goes, I do. I'm like, I knew there was a reason you were messaging me. So she actually got me and this gentleman hooked up, and I will bring him on in just a second. But a fun fact that while I was doing a little research and everything, the World Health Organization says that there is 285 million people in America that are visually impaired. And then 39 million of those people are completely blind. I had no idea there was that many people like that. So, I thought it'd be really cool to bring this gentleman on. It's a fellow artist, a fellow creator. His name is John Furniss, and he also goes by the Blind Woodsman. I'm going to bring him up right now. Hey, John, how are you?
Good. How are you doing, Josh?
Good, man. Again, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day. I know it's early over there. Well, kind of early, depending on who you are over in your area. But thank you so much for taking the time out to sit down and chat with me.
You're very welcome. Thank you for inviting me to. And,
Of course.
funny thing about weekdays and whatnot when you're self-employed is they don't mean quite so much, except for it's just another day.
Yeah.
So no worries on the time of day, that's for sure.
Awesome. So, we've got lots to talk about. And as I'm hoping from people that people could take from what I've been talking about and your name, you are, of course, blind. And you are a woodsman, a woods craftsman. So my first question is, sometimes I'm more subtle than what I should be, but I don't know any better way to ask it. Were you born blind? Did something happen? How did that work out?
I became blind when I was 16. When I was 16 years old, I actually attempted suicide, and
oh my God,
it caused the loss of my sight and smell, but luckily left my mind and everything completely intact. So that was, I mean, to say the least, a turning point in my life. But
I bet
I adapted so quickly and so well. I honestly think I was supposed to be blind. I changed the rear wheel bearings in my old car by myself a month after I had gotten out of the hospital. I actually taught my friend Carlos how to change wheel bearings in the process.
Holy crap. I can't even do that now. And I'm in my almost mid-30s. So, damn. If you don't mind me asking, because I always like, I go through, I've never been diagnosed with anything, but I've been going through before kind of COVID stuff. I've kind of refocused myself and everything, but I was going through a really dark patch and fighting with depression or whatever, anxiety, whatever it may be. But I'm kind of just trying to be dealing it with myself. That's a young age. Why? Is my best way to ask.
I really, sorry, my headphones aren't staying in very well.
No worries.
It's not the usual pair. It's funny. We got a brand new MacBook Air, but it doesn't have a jack for the iPhone headphones.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it's so dumb. It's just the regular one. Okay, sorry, I got distracted. Where were we again?
So why were you trying to attempt suicide at such a young age?
Well, from a really young age, I really didn't feel like I fit in. I just really kind of, I didn't feel like people liked me, and I was bullied a little bit when I was growing up, and I never really reached out either. I tried to hide it, and it built and built and built and came to the point where I was just done. I didn't want to do it anymore.
Man.
And so I attempted suicide by shooting myself.
Jeez.
And like I said, luckily it didn't cause me any brain damage or anything like that. Honestly, I think it may have rearranged some circuits in there. But
that's an interesting way to go and rearrange some stuff.
Yeah. It's definitely not necessarily the recommended method. No. But
well, and I definitely feel the struggle of especially being younger and getting bullied. I was tortured through. I remember in preschool, 2 kids in my preschool would sit on top of my chest and punch me in the face. So but that's why I am the amazing asshole that I am now. I've learned to turn it around and just and it took years. I mean, I really didn't get into my groove of things until I hit like high schoolish, and then I learned how to turn shit back on people and stuff like that. So that's how I coped. So if you are listening to this and dealing with that, I've always wanted to do like an episode on bullying and everything, but I think this is a good point of find somebody to talk to. Please don't do what John did.
It's not addressed often enough.
No.
Or aggressively enough, so to speak, and suicide itself also should not be seen as a shameful thing to be stigmatized.
Right.
It's a problem. It's a disease of society. I mean, I don't quite know how to put it. It's just, it shouldn't be a shameful thing, though. It shouldn't be treated that way. And people would be more willing to reach out and seek help if it wasn't.
Oh yeah, because I mean, I'm sure a lot of people feel embarrassed that they feel like that, and it's so looked down upon. So if you are listening to this and you need, and you're hitting a hard time, I know it's different right now with the way the world is, but I'm sure people are still shitty out there. Don't let them, I know it's hard to listen to, but you do get out of high school. You do get out of school. You get away from those pricks. And you find people that actually care about you. Yeah. So, and John and I are both here to prove that you can get past the bullying.
Absolutely.
You may be a little messed up down the road.
it takes some hard work, it really does.
But use it. I've always used it. I will make fun of myself before anybody else gets a chance because I know all my goofy flaws and my weirdness. So
I try to laugh at myself more than not when I tripped over our lawnmower at the bottom of the stairs. I forgot was there. Did like a mid-air barrel roll over the top of it, landing flat on my back on the other side.
Oh shit!
I just laughed so hard.
Oh man. So you get into basically your new life with being blind. When were you a creator before that? Were you into woodcrafting, or did this come in later?
Well, I've always been into artwork. I never had a chance to do any like really fine woodworking like I do now. It was mainly like carpentry and just kind of basic stuff like that. I mean, not that that's bad or anything, but it's definitely different than what I do now. And so after I became blind, that I still did sculpture with clay a lot.
Okay.
I did that for several years, and that definitely helped me a bit too. It was like a visual release for me.
Okay.
But for several years, I coped with drugs, and that was terrible. I basically went between clean and sober for the next several years. Got into some pretty serious trouble in Colorado when I moved back to the little town I grew up in.
Okay.
And ended up on probation, had felony on my record, which I luckily just last year was able to get a pardon from the governor of Colorado.
Wow.
And that's finally gone.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And that itself should be an easier process, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah. I've heard some horror stories from other people, and that sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah.
So were you messing with the creating and stuff during all this, or did?
Like I said, basically just like the sculpting and that kind of thing. But I think that honestly helped to hone my spatial awareness skills.
Okay.
Which translated over into my woodworking big time. So it gave me a relationship of scale and proportion and those kind of things. But I didn't really get into the fine woodworking and stuff until I had gotten off probation, and I had gotten clean from meth also. And finally I was able to start looking for a job, basically.
Okay.
But so I started working with vocational rehab, and part of and this is in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Okay.
And part of their program to make sure that you're ready to be out on your own, they had call it an independent living training center for the blind. And it was for like kids that are transitioning from home and high school to independent in college, or people that have newly become blind, adults or whatever. And one of the classes they had there was a wood shop. And I thought they were kind of crazy, but I've always been into that type of thing, and I've always been adventurous. So I decided to take that class, and I I found I had a knack for it. I found the one thing I do better than anything else. And the teacher, who is actually a very close friend of mine, Chris Hathaway, he really taught people to go the extra mile. He taught people how to work around the corners of being blind and make extraordinary furniture and really just be able to excel, and I mean, without what he taught me, I would not be where I am today, not even close. So
it just blows my mind, because I am we talked a little bit before we went live. I am an artist, but I'm a painter, and I paint on canvas. I paint on a few other things here and there, but I am not skilled with my hands when it comes to building things or anything with woodwork. My father-in-law was amazing at it. He built a lot of amazing things, did a bunch of stuff by hands, but I can't imagine doing this without being able to see. I mean, how do you know? My first question is, how do you know when it's done?
Well, I don't know. I see. Basically, I have what I like to call a computer design program in my mind. I still have a very, very vivid visual imagination. And part of that is actually helped by, I have what's called Charles Bonnet syndrome. And what that is it's something that people that have previously had sight and become blind, they get it, and it's phantom vision, so to speak. It's considered a hallucination, but it's not because of any brain disorder or anything like that. It's not very well understood. And for some people, it's like very disturbing imagery, like dead trees or people with, making bad faces or something like that.
Okay.
But for me, it's colors and shapes. My full field of view is filled up by red with kind of a dark red with black speckles, kind of like static on a TV screen, but it doesn't move quite as quickly. It's more drifty and not quite as random. And then there's blue patches that kind of fade and come and go right in the middle, and some other shapes and things. But I've learned to turn that into, call it wallpaper. And over the top of that wallpaper, I can overlay any image my imagination can conceive. Wow. And it's been an extraordinary benefit for me.
Holy cow.
At first, it was not great, though, because I can't get away from it. There's no closing your eyes. There's no, other than sleep, there's no escape from it. And so that was a big problem. I already had insomnia, and then after that started, it got really bad. But luckily, I was able to learn to not only work with it, but to turn it to my great benefit.
So, keeping on that topic a little bit, because we jump around a little bit. I'm ADD and I get really entertained by things. So how do you turn it off, or how do you, because like my brain is always going, and I'm always, but with you, like, how do you turn it off? How do you relax?
Well, actually, I like to visualize my surroundings and the people I meet and all that kind of thing. So and that also helps me with my spatial awareness.
Okay.
But I mean, I like to watch movies and listen to books and music, and I just kind of sit, and I mean, if I want to daydream, I can. Something a friend of mine told me that they are a little bit jealous of me is when I'm talking to them about another place, like a store, a park, or whatever. Essentially, I'm there. I'm seeing what I see when I'm there. I'm, in my mind, I can totally and completely picture it. Or for instance, like if there's a bush that I need to trim or pick fruit from or something like that, I see it in 3 dimensions all at once.
Wow.
I'm not, I'm not distracted by this or that or the foliage. I see all around it in 3 dimensions all at once.
Wow.
So it's been quite a benefit.
Pardon me. I bet. So going back to like, the beginnings of it, when did this start turning into, because you were learning at the school or at the program and everything, when did this start becoming a more of a job type thing?
Well, honestly, one of the biggest obstacles I've run into for employment as a blind person is I don't have computer skills, not really at all, outside of my smartphone. And I'm good with my hands. I fix things, I build things, I work on things. And there are simply not employers that are willing to hire a blind person to do that. And I get it. You know what I mean? It's a huge liability for them. But at the same time, for me, that was a real bummer because that was the stuff I knew how to do.
Right.
So for several years, I just lived with my parents, and my friend Chris, who was a woodshop teacher, had retired. And so we would just hang out and build stuff, basically. I built a table that I like to call the crown jewel of my woodworking career. It is very ornate and intricate. It's a sculpture in itself.
Wow.
And I remember saying to Chris one day, I wish I could do this for a living, but in Salt Lake City, that's just not possible. Not for someone like me, anyway, because the art community is extremely exclusive.
Okay.
And also the people that appreciate art and what it takes to make it. It's not just the wood it takes, it's the 500 hours worth of labor that has to be paid for.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And so there I couldn't really do it. But his father-in-law had come up here to the area I live in now to go to the Emil Fries School of Piano Technology for the Blind. And that was a school specifically for the blind to learn how to tune and repair pianos. Unfortunately, it closed down a few years ago. It had been around since 1939 and was the only school of its kind that taught blind people in the world. And there was a guy there from South Africa when I was going there. They've had students from literally all over the world.
Wow.
And it sounded like it was right up my alley because piano repair is mainly fine-tuned woodworking. Most of a piano is wood, leather, or felt.
Okay.
So it sounded like it was the perfect thing for me. So I moved up here and I started attending school. I also met my wonderful wife, Annie, there. I was attending extra classes during the summertime because I was not the greatest tuner. I can admit it, but I'm a great mechanic. So I was learning, and the school, they taught more basic type repairs, but I was learning how to do full restringing, hammers, complete, from the ground up rebuilds on pianos. And Annie happened to be there painting a piano for a fundraiser that the school did every year. And she just so happened to be painting the piano in the same room that I was working on the piano. I walk in there, and of course, the very first thing I do is put my hand in the wet paint on her piano, like a compass to north, I tell you. And luckily, she was just priming. I didn't, put my finger up Mona Lisa's nose or anything like that. And, we both apologized. And she'd never really been around blind people before, so she didn't know what the proper etiquette was. And, of course, I thought I had messed up her painting. But anyway, we apologized to each other and we laugh about it. And then over the next couple of weeks, we talked and hung out and in the school there. And then she called me because I'm about as smooth as George McFly when it comes to asking out women. So not great. And so she called me one day and she asked me if I wanted to go out and on a date or whatever. And at the time I was broke. I might have had some change on the floor or something, but that was about it. And I told her, hang on one second, I'm busy. Let me call you back. And so I'm sitting there talking with my friends, and I had my friend TJ and I had rented a community garden plot at the community center, and I had this huge patch of peas that were ripe and needed to be picked. And from what I knew of her, I knew she would love that. So I called her back and asked her if she wanted to go pick peas in my garden. And we went and we hung out in the garden and we picked peas and they until sunset, and we just sat and talked, and that was the beginning. We ended up getting married in front of that exact same garden plot 3 years later.
Damn, that is really cool.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
awesome. And as far as how I got to being a professional woodworker, sorry, the story kind of stretches out a bit, but
no, you're good. That was awesome.
Thank you. And so I actually started woodworking about 15 years ago.
Okay.
And so I moved up here to go to the piano school in 2011. And when I graduated from there, I had a business rebuilding pianos for about 2 years. Now, the reason I got out of that industry was I'm a creative person. I love to have things that are new and changing and creative. And once you learn all the ins and outs of a piano, every piano is the same 10,500 parts. And just it's so repetitive. I just couldn't do it anymore. I mean, one of the really basic, repairs that you perform is called regulating. Think of it as like calibrating all the mechanics. There's 1,500 separate adjustments. And that's just a very simple, that's just a, not even a complicated task, really, as far as, like the rebuilding stuff goes. And I just couldn't, it was just sucking the life out of me, and I loved it at first. I really did, because I'm into science and all that. And I was good at it too, not to toot my own horn, but I was an excellent technician. And the one thing I did love about it and would still do if it was feasible is restring. I loved restringing pianos. But by the time it needs new strings, it also needs, a half a dozen other things that I don't want to do. So, that's kind of what it comes down to. And so I got out of that industry, and it was hard to find business too. I mean, it's as expensive as getting a car rebuilt with a piano.
Wow.
New strings, new hammers, and the 4 or 5 other things that would come along with that. You're talking like $7,000 or $8,000. Very expensive. So mainly what I was repairing were like family heirlooms, because you can buy a really decent brand new piano for $7,000 or $8,000.
Wow. So
I got out of that, and I didn't quite know what to do with myself for a little while after that, because I come up here and invested all this time and effort and money trying to, be a piano technician. And for my birthday in 2016, Annie bought me my wood lathe. And it was by no means the first time I'd ever worked on a lathe, but the lathe is my favorite. Always has been. And I made just a simple little like jewelry dish. Or no. The first thing I made actually was this bowl right here. At least with my new lathe. And I got complacent and wasn't paying attention. And I got my finger caught between the chisel and the tool rest, and it squashed my finger, 11 stitches, 8 weeks to heal, left a trail of blood like a wounded cowboy in a Western all the way to the back door. And this is the bowl. Annie and I jokingly call it the blood bowl. And this
I could see it from here, I think.
Yeah. And this is the first bowl I ever made. And I had done some, call it spindle turnings up until that point, like chair leg type stuff and those kind of things. Gotcha. I've made some lamps and things like that. And so once I healed up from that and finished the bowl, and I bought a new small diameter mounting plate, and I started making these small jewelry dishes. And the first one I ever made was for Annie's mom, and it was just a little dresser top jewelry dish, and Annie posted it on Facebook. Within a day, there were about 14 people that said, "I want one. Can I buy one from you?" And that's where the business started.
Wow.
And Annie, she does like all of the social media stuff. She does, because I don't. I mean, you'd be getting pictures of my nose hairs, you know. And she is the real, part of the business. Yeah, I've got talent, but if nobody knows you have talent, then it doesn't matter.
Right. This is what Nick and I were actually just talking about. Guests that I had on last show, we were just talking about how people don't understand. There's the artist, and then there's the partner behind the artist. And it really makes a difference if you have a good partner that, I mean, my wife has, because we would do comic book conventions and everything. She's moved heavy boxes, unloaded and loaded cars in hundreds of times. It just, people don't understand when there's an artist in the group and then the partner has to do for them.
I would say in a lot of ways, she works harder than I do. Definitely. Because she, Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, and not to mention our website and all the financials that come with that. I mean, she's amazing. I can't hardly describe the,
Well, and she's an artist herself, correct?
Yeah, she is. She's a painter, and also other things in the past. She was a photographer for quite a while. That's what she was when we first met. She's done some fiber art, like embroidery, that kind of thing. Wow. And she's amazing. She's the reason why, we contacted, you know what I mean? She's gotten me out there so much that all the podcasts and news interviews, I can't even begin,
Yeah, she does a fantastic job, and I actually want to have her on sometime soon, because I saw her art, and I just followed her on Instagram, so I'd love to chat with her too. But yeah, it's you definitely need that good backing behind you, no matter what your situation is. I mean, I'm fully capable, and I need much assistance.
I was just going to say, particularly as a disabled person, I mean, our relationship in particular has unique aspects to it, because I mean, like, it takes a little longer to do things sometimes. I've broken an entire cabinet's worth of dishes since we've met, spilled gallons worth of liquid. It happens. You know what I mean? I'm a blind guy.
Lots of patience needed.
So, but we work together where we are the ultimate team. We found our person.
That's awesome. So now, what are some of you showed me a couple of things. So you have a cell phone amplifier.
Yes,
what is
I got one of those right here. So I designed this myself, actually. There are other types of amplifiers out there, but this particular model I designed from scratch. So what you do is you take your phone, you put it in there like so. And it amplifies your phone. From what people have said and what I've experienced, it doubles the volume of the phone.
Holy cow, that's fantastic.
Yeah. And then, it's a nice safe place to keep it, and
it looks gorgeous. I love the dark wood.
Thank you. Yeah, this is black walnut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And I've got another one made of ash here. This guy.
That's very pretty. And they're very nice too, because they, like you said, some other people make some of those, and I've seen different ones, and they don't look as great. Like, they're kind of eyesores. But what you have there, it looks gorgeous and would fit on like anything. Like, you're welcome.
And one other thing that's kind of my signature item anyway, or one of them, are canisters. It's just a little guy,
Wow.
And they're airtight. You can keep, the herbs in them or whatever, and it keeps it nice and fresh. And the lids fit. I am very proud of these. I've been making tons of these, all the way from big cookie jars. I mean, even urns, down to these little guys.
Wow.
And that's been pretty cool. I actually, a little story. mayor of the town right next door to us, Camas, Washington. She called me once, and she was doing a tour of our sister cities in Poland. And she bought 5 canisters from me to give to those cities to be placed in their town halls as gifts, because she said that my art represented our area.
Oh my God, that's really cool.
That's so awesome. I'm honored by that.
That is fantastic. So I'm going to bring up, because I want to show a few more things that's on your
Yes, of
website.
course.
So let me bring, all right. So we got your website up. Now this is always the fun part for me, because I basically have to run 2 screens at once. So give me one sec.
And I don't know if my table is displayed on there or not.
Let's see.
But that's...
We got an awesome picture of you. So I'm seeing we've got a few different bowls on here. Very cool styles. I do not see a table, but I think it might be a couple more of your amplifiers, it looks like.
Yeah, it's probably, you're probably looking at our store website, and the one that I'm thinking of would be on the YouTube channel, probably.
Oh, the YouTube channel? Okay.
Yeah, the Blind Woodsman. I'm not 100% sure, but that
well,
one.
and if you guys are watching this and you want to see more, just head over to the what is it? The www.furnissstudios.com.
Yeah.
You got all of John's stuff. They have a very nice, great website. It's nice and clean. I'm actually working on a website for our crew right now.
Cool.
What was that?
Oh, Annie's work is available there as well.
Exactly. Yeah. There's
paintings and cards and prints and all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. But yeah, I've been working on a website right now for the past like month or two for our Hanging with Web Show group. So like I'm like analyzing everybody's websites because I'm just stuck in that mode.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely go and check out all this stuff. Check out the YouTube channel. I'm sure you have some. It looks like you even have some inspirational stuff on there as well.
Yeah.
That's really neat.
TikTok has been so wonderful for us. Like that app has, it's one of the reasons why we've been so successful. And also I love to try and share my story as much as I can to try and help people. And TikTok has allowed that on literally a global scale. It's been incredible. I mean, we've done video messages with people in Portugal, and we do live TikTok ones, and we get people from, I mean, there's Mongolia, Australia, Peru, all over Europe, all over the United States. It's been incredible, and it's been wonderful to be able to share my message like that.
Right.
And then we do cooking videos called Cooking with the Lights Out. I love to bake and barbecue and stuff like that. So we have a lot of fun with those. We've done pies and breads and cinnamon rolls and stuff like that.
I just have to say, you guys have the best sense of humor and the best names for stuff. Because I think I was going through your Instagram, and it was like a commercial for Out of Sight Landscaping.
Yes, that was.
Oh my
we
God.
had so much fun making that.
I'm like, what the hell is this? And I turned the sound on because I always and I'm just laughing. I mean, I love the sense of humor you guys have. The freaking names you're making for this stuff is perfect too.
There's one other thing we're going to start doing on TikTok called Lights Out Laboratory. I love science, and so we're going to do like little experiments and have facts and stuff like that. That'll be fun.
That's awesome. And that's like, and I'm even one of these people. When you hear TikTok, you think of girls shaking their butts, doing weird dances, or like teenagers just being weird, doing stupid stuff on there. But you're I know a lot of my cosplay friends, the people that dress up like superhero characters, they use TikTok in all different ways. I have my friend Biggie from Deli Fresh Threads. He uses TikTok. He was trying to get me into it. So I think I got to finally break down and get into it, because you're like third, fourth person that I've heard that has had really good experience with doing actual real things with TikTok.
I cannot even describe how awesome it's been. Like we just our business and everything just exploded. And one of the reasons we even got on TikTok was because I had been doing some talking at middle schools and high schools, like suicide and drug prevention.
Oh, very cool.
And TikTok is, it's huge with the younger group. And so we decided, let's give it a try. And we went on there, and I think the first video we did was a cooking with the lights out. It was a peach pie. And it went viral. I mean, we got, it was over 1 million views, well over 1 million views on that one.
Man.
And we've had a couple of, I've had a few videos go viral, as much as like 4 million views. I've got over 400,000 followers.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'm missing in my arsenal right now, because
a lot of the contacts like that we've made with podcasts and stuff like that came from TikTok.
Okay.
So it's been a huge. Also, the algorithm is really nice, because if you like positive things, you will get nothing but positive stuff. It's from what we've found, it's very non-political. There are some on there and stuff,
right?
But it's a much friendlier environment, seems like, than a lot of the other social media apps.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, we were talking before we went live, and you said that you make a few things, like so many amount of things, and then you put them up for sale, and then I think you said they like sell out before 9 a.m.
Yeah, we post at 8 a.m. on Mondays, and usually by 8:30 it's gone. But because I'm only able to make about say 6 to 12 items, depending on what they are, per week. And I have to say, thank you everyone so much for supporting us. It's been you've allowed me to you've allowed Annie and I both to live our dreams. I never thought I would be financially independent. I always thought that we would be on some sort of assistance.
Right.
But this has allowed that. And it's incredible. It's really, so I can't thank people enough for supporting us and allowing us to live our dreams.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get to that point. But I was actually talking with Nick, the artist, in the last show, and we were talking about kind of how COVID has helped us in a way.
You're totally right, though.
Yeah,
you are, definitely.
It's really messed up, but
but it was a cause and effect. You know what I mean? People went on the internet more and that sort of thing. And don't get me wrong, like we've really, we struggled quite a bit.
Right.
We did, a lot of like art festivals and stuff like that. And that was kind of discouraging here and there, because we wouldn't sell a single thing. And the way I like to describe it is, it was like getting a boulder rolling. You really got to put your shoulder into it at first. But once you start to get a little bit of momentum, it'll, partially take care of itself. And I like to tell people, don't let your goal blind you to the steps in between.
Right.
Because
I like that.
It can really happen,
And that's where I feel like I'm at, is like I'm on that pushing that boulder. And I feel like I just need that one more good push somewhere, because I've gotten everything kind of lined up. And the weird thing is, we were talking like I've got the 3 different things. I've got the regular art, graphic design, and then the podcast. And right now they're actually feeding into each other, which is really weird. You wouldn't think it would be a thing, but one shows off the other and then gets into the other, and then everybody finds everything. So I think I'm at that point where I just need that one more good shove somewhere to actually make it start rolling itself.
Yeah.
But maybe TikTok is the thing, because you're, like I said, you're the third or fourth person that they've blown up on TikTok.
Yeah, really, people just poo-poo TikTok because of the like you said, the teenagers doing dances and stuff like
Right.
that. But it's really cool. That's another part of it. We're reaching kids we're reaching people that are going blind and struggling with it, and that we can
Oh,
give some
wow.
inspiration to. We're reaching kids that have had personal experiences, whether it be themselves or others, with suicide, and just it's been incredible, so incredible.
Damn. That's really neat. Yeah, you don't really think about that stuff. And like even
Yeah.
I think it was a year or two ago, there's
Mhm.
I can't remember what month it is, but there's Suicide Prevention Month.
Yeah, September, I think.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I did a post, just a random one. Like it was one of those ones that like it had the phone number for the suicide awareness stuff,
Uh-huh.
and basically just to share around so people knew there was a number and everything.
Yeah,
I shared it. I shared it on my artist
Mhm.
page and didn't really think much of it. And I
Mhm.
had somebody write to me, comment on there, and it was like a good long paragraph of
Yeah.
thanking me for sharing that I inspire them to keep going and to do their thing because I do my thing. And like to me, I'm just, especially at that time, I'm just this goofy dude over here trying to paint pretty pictures and sell them. And just do my thing. I never would realize I would be an inspiration to anybody.
Yeah, there you go. There you
Yeah.
go. You never know whose life you might save, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Or whose life you might change. Someone that
Right.
that is discouraged because their goal looks too big, and they decide, okay, the steps in between aren't that bad, and they're the ones I need to take to get there.
Yep. Yeah, and that's I mean, and we talked about it at the beginning of the thing. Like even right now, I still fight with it a bit because we've got the way
Mhm.
the world is, and I'm still,
Yeah.
I'm throwing everything out there and trying to get the attention to it. And it,
Mhm.
some stuff kicks off, some stuff doesn't,
Yeah.
but I keep going. I'm like, F it. If they don't want to look at that, I'll show them the next thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And which is with just the show alone, it's nice because I can get people on you like you on here to talk about their thing.
Yeah.
Kind of gives me a wake up call of going, okay, things could either be worse or different, or
Yeah.
it's not as bad as it seems, and things get better. So you right now, the conversation you and I have just had inspired me. So hopefully it inspires other people. Because
Yeah.
I'm all energized now. I'm gonna go do something.
Cool. Yeah. I one of the reasons I say that about the goal thing is when I was a teenager, I started playing the bass because I love Primus, and Les Claypool is just, he's amazing on the bass. But after a couple of months, I wasn't Les Claypool, and so I was like, yeah, never mind. So
Yeah.
it's a good thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, and I'm always one of those people that look at my other artist friends who are doing better, or some like even just better work, not even like better sales or stuff like that, but like their work's just like 10 steps ahead of mine. And I'm like sitting there going, okay, why do I keep doing mine? I'm like, no, you're not supposed to do that. Yeah, it's really hard.
That's something else I like to tell people is don't let your idols discourage you from becoming what you want to be, because just because somebody is a master at it doesn't mean that it didn't take them decades to get there.
Right.
So don't let your inspiration also be your stumbling block.
Right. Now, where do you see, we're in this COVID mess. Things are still kind of crazy with that. What are some of your plans for the future? You got like new stuff you want to start making, or just making whatever you can? What we got going on?
I think I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing so far. I mean, we will keep doing what we're doing. I mean, this is definitely not just me. I'm the pretty face. Annie does all the important stuff. And she is also a very pretty face.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Yeah. So, I mean, I like to challenge myself with new designs.
Okay.
And that kind of thing. And I guess, I don't know, expand where we get. We've gotten where we have very organically. We've like on TikTok, for instance, we didn't start by saying, hey, I'm this guy and I sell stuff. we started by, making videos. We started by showing people who we are and that kind of thing. And then I put one of my pieces and said, hey, I also make this stuff, and that, I think that was a big help to us too, because that meant people wanted to seek us out instead of us trying to I don't know how to put it. Like,
right. Yeah. You were just, you kind of teased some people almost and showed them that you're a person.
Well,
and then they liked the person that they saw. And now they want to support the person with what they sell. Yeah.
And we took, we didn't let opportunities go by the wayside.
Okay.
If we found if something came along that was good, then we would take it. And we just kind of, we just did what we knew we should do and took the opportunities that came along the way.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's I think that's how we got to where we are.
That's awesome, man. I gotta say, you've been one hell of an inspiration for me today. It was so cool to chat with you. We're right at the last few minutes of the show. So where can everybody find you, follow you, and purchase your stuff?
Well, you can find me and follow me and all those kind of things if you look up the Blind Woodsman. That will get you to all of the social media or Furniss Studios. That if you wanted to go just straight there, that you can get my stuff there. You can buy Annie's stuff there. That's either one of those is definitely.
And he's on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I'll be checking out your YouTube soon because I want to see some of these videos. Make sure you catch the out of sight landscaping video.
That's a good one.
I think it was Instagram. I saw it on there. That was fantastic. John, thank you so much for taking time out of your day and chat with me. And a big thank you to Annie for getting us connected and communicated. She is awesome. I hope she's feeling better. I know she wasn't feeling great earlier this week.
Yeah, I'm kind of helping nurse her a bit. So
nice. Well, I hope she feels better soon, and I would love to have her on in the next couple of months. So I'll be bugging you guys again to have her on. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. If you guys like the artwork behind me, head over to jbauerart.com. Find the shop link. You can buy paintings, prints, all that good stuff. Make sure to go over to the HWWS WebTV YouTube channel. Subscribe to there to catch replays of all the episodes. You can find me on your favorite podcast app. Make sure to message me for your free sticker so I can get them out to you and have one in every state soon. Other than that, thank you guys so much, and I will catch you guys next week. Later.
Take care.